Hey Vinyl Community, Joe here. I want to share with you today 3 albums from Muddy Waters in my collection that are some of my favorites. These 3 albums come from 1968 and 1969 consecutively. The first album is an album called Electric Mud. I want to show you this cover. This is the first pressing of this album. Album, iconic cover, great photos on the front, back, and when you open it up, just a fantastic photo here. This thing's kicking my butt. Uh, Iconic photo of Muddy holding a guitar in a robe. Got some funky sandals on there. It also came with a book that had some other photos in it of Muddy getting ready for this album. You know, the album cover photos. Him getting his hair did there. Just iconic photos. Got a great saying on the back of this as well. Get my hands out of the way there. Getting his hair did. And on the back it says, I got a black cat bone, I got a mojo tooth, I got the John the Conqueror, I'm gonna mess with you, I'm gonna make you all you girls lead me by the hand, then the world will know I'm a hoochie coochie man. Famous lines from old Muddy songs. But this is put on by Cadet Concept, which is a division of Chess. And this is Muddy's 5th studio album, and this has become one of my favorite labels to collect. And this is just a beautiful album. It's absolutely gorgeous. VG plus, if not better, on this. But one of my favorite album labels, artwork. Just a great, great look to it. Love playing this album. This is a unique album because the Cadet Concept label, their first album, the first album they produced was by a band by the name of the Rotary Connection. And I believe the first album was the self-titled album. And they were a mix of jazz musicians, and they were brought together to play, mostly jazz musicians, brought together to form a psychedelic band. And this psychedelic band became the backing band to Electric Mud. And also, as we see, as I show you in the next 2 albums, a lot of the musicians that are on this album followed Muddy into the next 2 albums. But very, very unique album. This is a concept album. It was to put Muddy Waters, traditional blues guy, with some psychedelic people. During the time, psychedelic rock was huge, and to put Muddy with these guys, to me, is unique. It was not accepted very well. Muddy himself even said this album's dog shit. But I love the album. It's got a unique sound. It's got Muddy's voice to it. Just unique. And the album incorporates the use of a wah-wah pedal and a fuzz box. But like I said, what you can see in these albums is that even though Muddy didn't like it, and it wasn't accepted by the critics, didn't get high reviews, but what you see is Muddy hearing these new sounds and actually incorporating them into the next albums. A couple of things too, though, is that I read that Jimi Hendrix would play one of the songs off of here, the Herbert Harper's Free Press, that he would actually play this song to get pumped up for a live performance. Very unique song. But listen to some of these the personnel on this album. So you got Muddy Waters, Gene Barge, who played tenor sax. You got Phil Upchurch, who played guitar. Pete Cozy played guitar. Charles Stepney played organ. Louis Satterfield played bass guitar, and Morris Jennings played drums. All right. And on this album, you have I Just Want to Make Love to You, side 1, Hoochie Coochie Man, track 2 on side 1, Let's Spend the Night Together, one of my favorite songs, and She's All Right. That finishes up side 1. Side 2, you have I Am a Man, Herbert Harper's Free Press, track 2, Tomcat, track 3, and then finish the album out, you have Same thing. Just a funky, psychedelic, unique sound. You're not going to hear Muddy like this anywhere else. But to me, this is one of my favorite prized possessions in my collection, this album right here. And I don't know if you've heard it. If you haven't, pick it up, stream it. You can get reissues of this very cheap, or cheap reasonably. But pick it up, listen to it. If you're not into Muddy, if you want to try Muddy out, Chuck D said this got him into listening to more traditional blues. He just really couldn't get into it, but after playing this, he really got into the traditional blues and started listening to more of Muddy's catalog. So this is Electric Mud. Awesome sounding album. If you can find one that's got the photos in it, it's cool to look at. Very interesting photos. So that's Electric Mud, Cadet Concept. Came out in 1968. Muddy, like I said, Muddy wasn't too happy with the sound, the psychedelic sound. The reviewers, didn't like it. It got low reviews. So the next album, he still incorporated the psychedelic sound, but he brought more of his blues sound into this next album. And the next album is Muddy Waters After the Rain. And this came out in 1969. This is the 6th studio album by Muddy. And it's got this iconic photo of Muddy with mud being smeared on him, and he's holding a frog. My copy is still in the shrink, actually. There's the back of Muddy there, but just an iconic photo. And I'll see if I can see who took Victor I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Strabinsky. I'm probably not saying that right, but just an iconic album. Like I said, this is his 6th studio album, another Cadet Concept, and plays more of the blues sound from Muddy that you know. It's on that great Cadet Concept label. Trying to show it to you. I'm showing it to you upside down. This copy again is the first pressing as well, and it's just in beautiful condition. This has got some excellent songs on it. Side 1's got I Am the Blues, Willie Dixon song. Ramblin' Mind, that's a Muddy song. And track 3, side 1, is probably my favorite song off this album. It's Rollin' and Tumblin'. Just an awesome sounding song. Finishes out side 1 with Bottom of the Sea. Side 2 has Honey Bee, Blues and Trouble, Hurtin' Soul, and Screamin' and Cryin'. Just an awesome, iconic album. Like I said, this came out in 69, and Muddy brought with him more of his blues sound, but he still kept the psychedelic sound from Electric Mud. Just added more of the traditional blues sound. Because you have Muddy again, who plays lead guitar on track 3, 5, 6, and 8. And then you have Phil Upchurch from Electric Mud, Rotary Connection. You got Morris Jennings from Rotary Connection. He also played in Electric Mud, who plays drums. But he adds Otis Spann, his piano player, Muddy's piano player, and the dude that lived in his basement for a long time. Lewis Satterfield from Electric Mud, Rotary Connection, played bass. Pete Cozy, again, from Rotary Connection from the previous album, played guitar. This dude's a great guitar player, has that Jimi Hendrix sound. He played with Miles Davis. He played with Jerry Butler, John Clemmer, Fontana Bass, Rotary Connection. He also played with Howlin' Wolf. He had a Jimi Hendrix sound to him, like I said. Awesome, awesome guitar player. Charles Stepney, again, played organ. And one guy on this album that's introduced is Phil Osher, who played harmonica. He actually met Muddy in the mid-'60s and stepped in for Big Walter Horton, who didn't show up to the gig that he was supposed to show up. And Paul was in the audience, stepped in, and became a regular member of Muddy's band. And he remained with Muddy from 67 up until 72. He was the first white musician in Muddy's band, and he actually lived with Muddy on the south side of Chicago, and he shared the basement with Otis Spann. Awesome, awesome harmonica player. I really like the harmonica sound, and you can really hear it in this album. That was missing from Electric Mud, didn't have a harmonica. So this is After the Rain, 1969 Cadet Concept album featuring much of the same members from Electric Mud. The last album I'm going to show you today is a double album, and it's on the Chess label. It's on the Chess label, and it's called Fathers. It's called Fathers and Sons. And it's a part studio album, part live session recordings. And it has just a knockout band on this. You got Muddy Waters, Otis Spahn, Michael Bloomfield, Paul Butterfield, Donald Duck Dunn, Sam Lay, and Buddy Miles. Now, Buddy Miles played drums for Jimi Hendrix. But this is more traditional sound of blues sound that Muddy is known for, and not so much of the psychedelic sound that you find in the other two albums. And like I said, this is on the Chess. This is on the Chess label. I'm trying to grab the album down here. This is on the Chess label, and it has that orange and blue Chess label on it. Double album, like I said, great sound of this. I mean, you got Michael Bloomfield playing guitar. You've got, Paul Butterfield playing harmonica, and Otis Spann playing the piano. Just an awesome, awesome sound. Michael Bloomfield, if you're into Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan from the recent movie, A Complete Unknown. That left my mind there for a second. A Complete Unknown. Michael Bloomfield plays a big part early on in Dylan's turn to the electric sound. And Phil Upchurch again plays bass on this album. Again, the connection from Rotary Connection, from Electric Mud to After the Rain to this album. But these are the three albums that I've been listening to. Just a great sounding. You get the psychedelic sound in Electric Mud. Then you get the more mix of psychedelic with traditional in After the Rain. And then you get to Father and Sons, which is the turn back to more the traditional sound. Double album. You get live Muddy, you get studio Muddy, and you get this all-star pack of band members that gives this album just the sound that you can't go wrong with. And none of these albums, you can find all of these albums reasonably priced. You don't have to get the OG copies, the first pressings of these albums. But if you're trying to get into the blues, if you want to get more, you want to hear Muddy, you want to hear the traditional sound of Muddy, and you want to hear a more unique sound of Muddy with a psychedelic band, check out these albums. Again, my name's Joe. Give me a subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to. I like showing off more. I'm a blues collector. That's what interests me. I like blues, like folk rock, but I'll listen to anything. But put in your comments below. Have you listened to one, two, or all of these albums? What are some of your favorite songs off these albums? And let me know what some of your favorite blues albums are. Again, thanks for hanging out with me. See you next time.